Imagine a place where the vastness of nature is the only witness to the eternal silence of the mountains, where the sound of the wind crosses the immense steppes, and life goes on with a primitive intensity, as if time had stopped. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in a country so far away, so unexplored, that even looks like another planet? We are talking about Mongolia, the beating heart of Central Asia, where traditions intertwine with modernity in a way that few people know. But Mongolia is not only famous for its stunning landscapes or legendary horses, it is a land marked by deep histories, such as those of ancient tribes who centuries ago practiced love rituals that challenge everything we imagine about human relationships. How would it be if you were part of these tribes? What would it be to love in the middle of the vastness of a wild land, where the rules were different from ours, where love could be both a divine connection and an act of pure survival? In this video, we will explore not only the beauty and mysteries of Mongolia, but also the love rituals that still echo through time. Prepare yourself for a unique journey, where history and culture mingle in a dance of curiosity and fascination. Stay to the end, because what you will discover about this country will change the way you see love, life, and perhaps even yourself. The wild country and the ancient rituals. Imagine yourself walking through the vast steppes of Mongolia, a territory of unexplored landscapes, and where the sound of the wind is more than just a breeze. It's the voice of the past, of a land full of secrets that resist time. Mongolia is a country that seems suspended between the present and antiquity, a place where ancestral customs still intertwine with everyday life. Here, ancient tribes have preserved a relationship with love that may seem strange to those living in the modern world. But it is precisely this complexity that makes love in Mongolia so unique and fascinating. In times past, the tribes of Mongolia had deeply spiritual love rituals that went beyond physical attraction. Passion, connection, and respect were more than words. They were lived in every gesture, in each exchange of looks, and in the dances around the bonfires. These rituals not only involved individuals, but connected them with the earth itself and the elements of nature, creating a bond that transcended time and space. For the Mongolian tribes, love was a force of nature, something that could not be hastened or understood simply. It was something that required patience, devotion, and a sincere dedication, like a song echoing through the winds of Mongolia. Today, the traditions of Mongolia still endure, with young people being taught about these rituals and values by their grandparents, who share the old stories. However, the practices are no longer so obvious or visible. In a modern world where relationships are often superficial and instantaneous, Mongolian love reminds us all of the importance of cultivating a true connection that transcends the boundaries of time and distance. But what makes these love rituals so unforgettable? The secret lies in the deep reverence with which love is treated, a reverence that leads us to question the ways we live and feel love in the contemporary world. Love as a sacred ritual in the midst of the immensity of Mongolia. Love was never a matter of simple attraction. It was a sacred commitment, often invisible to those who did not know the tradition. One of the most emblematic rituals among the tribes was the rite of silence, where the couple connected through gestures without exchanging words. This silence was not empty. On the contrary, it was filled with a deep communication that said more than 1,000 words. In a world where verbal communication predominates, Mongolia teaches us that often the gestures and unspoken expressions are the ones that touch the soul the most. The union ceremony of the Mongolian tribes, for example, was a visual and symbolic representation of the fusion of two souls. There was no rush, no pomp, but a deep understanding that that moment would transcend the lives of those involved. The marriage was not only between two people, but between two families, between two worlds, between man and the land of Mongolia. It was the recognition that connection did not depend on time or physics, but on the energy flowing between beings, an energy that, like the wind of the steppes, was invisible, but powerful enough to transform lives. Love, then, was lived with a silent intensity, a depth that for many would be difficult to understand. The Mongols did not see love as something ephemeral, but as an eternal strength, which should be cultivated with patience and respect. There was no room for haste. Mongolian love was built over time, in the small actions of everyday life and in the great ceremonies, which together form the basis of a deeply connected society. And so Mongolia presents us with a love that goes beyond superficiality, an immortal love, guided by harmony and ancestral wisdom, the love that perpetuates and transcends. As the tribes of Mongolia spread across the steppes, love was not limited to individual relationships, but became a legacy that spanned generations. The true value of Mongolian love lay in how it perpetuated itself, not only in the body, but in the spirit of future generations. The love stories and teachings passed from the elders to the younger ones were the basis of a collective wisdom that guided the community in its relationships. Love was thus not only a feeling, but a spiritual and intergenerational bond, an invisible link that united all who lived under the vast expanse of Mongolia. And it is in this sense of perpetuation that the true strength of Mongolian love is revealed. In the rituals and stories told around the bonfires, Mongolia teaches us that true love is not just about one life, but about all the lives that will follow. Every act of love, every gesture has the power to influence the next generation, creating an immortal stream of feelings and values. When we think of love in Mongolia, we see a construction that goes beyond a passing romance. We see a construction of society, culture, and soul. Therefore, the true essence of love in Mongolia is the legacy it leaves. It is the way in which it transforms and adapts itself over the centuries, without losing its depth and meaning. Love is not only what we feel, but what we leave for others. In Mongolia, this profound wisdom is transmitted through rituals, stories, dances, making love remain alive in everyone who experiences it. And so, from generation to generation, love in Mongolia transcends time, maintaining its strength and purity, like the very steppes that never fade but remain eternal. The eternal legacy of Mongolia, the history of Mongolia, is not just a narrative of tribes and rituals. It is the story of an immortal love, lived with an intensity that transcends generations, shaped by the earth, the wind, and the spirit of the ancestors. Throughout this tour of one of the most fascinating cultures in the world, we have seen that love in Mongolia is not a simple thing, but a profound and transforming force that connects the physical, the spiritual, and the eternal. The rituals that arose in the wild steppes were not only practices, they were celebrations of life, nature, and the union of souls. In Mongolia, love is built on small things, shared silences, long distances, and sacred promises. It is a love that defies time, that crosses generations, and perpetuates itself as an invisible link between all who walk on this earth. And when we look at Mongolia today, we see not just a distant country, but a reflection of the true essence of what it means to love, with patience, respect, and a deep connection to that which is greater than us. This legacy is not just a vestige of the past, but a living lesson that we can apply to our own lives. In every act of love, in every relationship, we can learn from the Mongols to cultivate something that goes beyond the surface, something that resists, that is strengthened in adversity, and that, in the end, becomes eternal. And now, if this journey through Mongolia has touched your heart and made you reflect on the true meaning of love, imagine what else we have to share. Don't let this content end here. If you like this video, sign up to our channel so you don't miss the next fascinating story. Leave your like, comment on your impressions, and activate the notification bell to be the first to know when new videos are available. Come with us to further explore the mysteries and beauties of the world, where love never goes out, as in the Great Mongolia.